today I'll be discussing why CrossFit's an unsafe way to train. Do y'all think it's a safe way to train? No?
Yes.
No? Well, today I'll be talking to you and explaining why it is a bad way to train. So CrossFit is based off of Olympic lifting, and Olympic lifting is basically you're maxing out every time, and that calls for 1 rep, 1 set. The CrossFitters now are changing it to where they're doing it for speed, so when they do it for speed, they're not focusing on their form, which can lead to long-term effects of injuries like your knee. You can have arthritis, you can tear your ACL, tear your ACL, or MCL, and then you can have hip pain, which is long-term if you strain your hip flexors. You can have back pain, which is you can have a herniated disc, you can just tear your muscle, pull it, and then you can have shoulder injuries, which is like tearing your rotator cuff. But these injuries all are because of your overextending the joints when you're popping it, all the bars and the heavy weight over 200 pounds over your head is really extending all of your muscles and using all of it. But don't get me wrong, CrossFit is definitely the most popular way to train nowadays, but it's also the most dangerous way to train. UNT recently did a study of all of their male athletes, and they incorporated CrossFit into their training. When they did that, it significantly increased the injury rate in all of them. But don't get me wrong, that CrossFit has done an incredible job at bringing up intense training just using their barbells, but it's also known as a random exposure to a variety of different movements at different intensity levels. You can go from, when you first start, you have the very low intensity level, but your body's still not used to it, so it's still affecting your joints. And then once you get into like the CrossFit games and stuff, and they're doing the crazy intense levels, that's really affecting your joints and can affect you long term. But the psychological impacts of CrossFit is usually arrogance. Not a lot of people have that, but if you go into a gym and there's people that don't CrossFit and there's people that do CrossFit, they have shirts sometimes that say, like, for example, your workout's my warm-up. And it's just stuff like that, but a lot of people don't have that, but it gets to your head and they think that they're better than everyone. But one of the sources I got all my information from was CrossFit, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It states the good effects of getting in shape, and then has the bad effects like your physical mishap and all this stuff, and then it has the ugly, which is the long-term effects of your body. You can have decreased mobility when you're older because all the effects from that CrossFit when you were younger. And my second article is Inside the Body as It CrossFits, and that just basically sums up of how when you're tearing down your body and your muscle and stuff like that, that it's regenerating it, but the muscles still aren't going to be the same because of all the weight and the overextending of the muscles that you do. So, in conclusion, the long-term effects of CrossFit can impair your stability and your mobility, and I strongly believe this topic needs to be talked about because individuals need to be informed with the long-term impacts that they're going to have just by doing this simple CrossFit and working out when you're this young. So, thank y'all.